Welcome to Baseball Blueprint, your home for all things player development.
Hey, what's up, guys? Another video here. We're checking out the Cubs game from yesterday. It was really interesting, had a lot of action going on, but one of the things I really want to dive into is the base stealing. So they've been doing a great job, and they've got an incredibly fast roster as it is. But some of the new techniques and moments where they're choosing to run has been really cool to watch. So they stole 4 bags last game. So that 2 from Horner, 1 from Tucker, 1 from PCA. I can't wait for PCA's bat to get hot because that's going to be just a complete game changer. But really cool. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the script on game day, and we'll be able to find where everything is. Now, one of the less glamorous parts about base stealing is they don't usually put video of it on the highlights, but every now and then we'll get it thrown out or something. We'll check one out after as like a maybe what not to do when you're working new school from one of the Marlins games yesterday where it was a good shot. It was just he was a little early on his landing, and we can see from where his foot lands. But let's focus on the Cubs for now. We're going to go through the script and try to find out where these stolen bases happen and kind of dive in and see exactly how it happened. So here we got Horner stealing second, then right after he steals third on the pitch that Shaw walks on. It's his top second, 1 down. So we'll just go to the broadcast, go to the second inning, if I can find it without this thing being too slow, and we'll go from there. So here's top of second. Let's start that back over. All right, so this is PCA. We know from the script it looked like he strikes out here. Now, we can watch this through for a couple of different reasons. First of all, every now and then the camera will pan to the first baseline. The Yankees broadcast do this pretty often, so the Cubs broadcast. And it'll give us an idea from like a technical standpoint what we're doing. There's a pickoff attempt. Looked like we're on a one-way there. Pretty easy return. Now, what's really interesting is if you have a game day account, which is free, you'll be able to go in and watch these games live in 3D. Which is one of my favorite things to do. And again, here's that angle I was talking about from first base. Looks like we're just working old school. We've got our foot kind of turned more towards second, but you see the slight shift of the weight. If you're wondering whether or not he's about to take his shot, watch the head drop down. If the head drops down really quick when he thinks he might pick, that usually gives you an idea of like, oh, he's thinking about running. We'll probably see that again at some point from these guys off this lefty, if there's another lefty or if there's another shot off him. But again, now you got 1 out, 0-0 count. Interesting time to run if you're going to run, but this pitcher's so focused about getting ahead in the count, right? Perfect shot. Really nice slide. If that slides feet first, he's probably out. The head first slide to the outside part of the bag is the way to go. It's just quicker, much more difficult to get a tag down. The space to tag is way less, right? So that's what we're looking for. As we can see there, old school shot. Not a whole lot of rise and fall from the head. It's more of a lateral. Like we want to feel like a bullet out of a rifle with our head there. We don't want to jump up or down. So really nice there. And then we also know that Horner ends up stealing third on the pitch that he walks on. So let's watch this through. He just went old school at first. Now, if we're stealing third base, we're usually trying to create some kind of momentum. Now, what I believe they're teaching with the Cubs is a crossover step at second base. I'm not positive, but I know that group has taught that in the past. We're seeing Horner kind of go lateral with his shuffles there. If we see him start to cross over with his left foot, we'll know he's trying to take a shot. So all we're doing now is we're trying to find that left leg and see if he crosses over. Watching the body, active feet. He looks kind of ready, right? And so I don't know if that's something he's trying to portray or not. Here's a 3-1 count. Really doesn't want to walk this guy. Pretty decent time to run, to be honest. So let's see if he takes it here. Look at the body language from Horner. It's much lazier. Hands on the hips. Oh, there's a crossover step, and he's gone. Really nice. And there's just no shot. Pitcher's all mad because the catcher didn't stick it, or if he didn't get the call. Something. He's mad about something, but he's worried about that. Didn't give the base runner his attention he needed. Yeah, he's mad about the pitch. He thinks that's a strike, I'd assume. It was a strike. But with the runner going, and yeah, catcher's mad about it too. I dig it. Okay, let's pause that there. So those are our first 2 bags of the 4. Really nice from Horner. Now let's dig in a little bit more. Let's see if we have another opportunity here. Yeah, here we go. This is top four. Top four, Tucker walks, Turner lines out, Tucker steals second. Okay. There's a line out in between. So maybe we'll get like a replay of like going back on a liner. Okay. 1 sec, y'all. I know this is zoomed in on my face. I blew up the picture, so I stopped the screen recording on the computer. It's gonna be back up here. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going top four. Here's top three. Here's bottom three. There's top four. Looks like Tucker just stole. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it from here. I'm not gonna blow it up so I don't ruin the screen again. I know zooming in on this face is probably not the best viewing experience, but I'll have the screen blown up. I'll zoom in on it with editing, and the quality might not be perfect, but it'll be better than what you're seeing here. So Suzuki just hits a nuke, so we know the pitcher's already gonna be a little bit rattled. You got a righty on the bump. Tucker's on first, who Tucker's the steal guy as it is, but add in some new school techniques. Let's see if he goes old school or new school here. I'm gonna assume with Spence he's probably going new school. Now he ends up getting walked here, so we're gonna fast forward through this. And I apologize for the darker background here, but it's just the way it goes sometimes when you're working with the technical capabilities that I have. So Tucker ends up walking here, then there's a line out, and then he steals. And so after Tucker hits, we've got Turner, then Swanson. Swanson's a good guy to run with at the dish because he's a good fastball hitter. And again, so is Turner. Right? So maybe, I'm assuming if he doesn't steal during Turner's at-bat, Turner's action at the at-bat either happens early or he's trying to work new school and he's trying to hit timing. So we'll be able to see that. We'll be able to see that once he gets on base here. Good take. Good take. So I wonder, like, you've got a 4-run lead, so this is a great time to show aggression. It doesn't kill you to get thrown out stealing here. Not that you ever want to plan for that, but it doesn't kill you. You got some guys who can really hit on the way up as well. This is a pretty this lineup is really, really nice. I'm a big fan of this Cubs team. See if the action happens early. There's a breaker down. And the other good reason to maybe show some aggression with Turner up is you're going to see more breakers, right? Now, they I don't think that's what they do. At least from the script, it looks like the stolen base attempt is after Turner's AB. But maybe, I'm assuming he's probably working new school here if he's not going to shoot it in the first 3. Because you're going to see a heavy dose of breaking balls, and that's just a really good time to run. Now I'm going to check real quick while you guys have that on your screen, who the catcher for the, yeah, we got Linglier's catching. So, pretty decent catcher behind the dish. Pretty decent catcher. You want to make sure you got a good jump. Now, Spence isn't, he's not a speedy guy to the dish, per se. Very average right-handed pitcher. Not going to be crazy difficult to run on, especially if he keeps spinning, which Spence has to do to be competitive. So, we got 2-1 count. 2-1 count here. Let's see if there's a liner. Play it first. We're safe. So that's one of the other things too. I was talking with our I think it's our 14 or 15U group this past weekend about like hailing line drives and these situations, especially lower line drives. We want to start shading back more. Just because if we freeze, we're dead in the water anyway. Why don't we shade back? We're back towards the base, but keep our head on the play. That way we can really see the whole developing play in case that ball gets dropped. We can try to get to second. Let's see. If he was working new school there, first pitch, great time to run. Safe. It's a great slide too. Let's see what the technique is. I'm assuming it's new school. If it takes that, I think it took that long to, and then you run on Swanson, who they're probably going to try to get ahead early with a fastball. Oh yeah, there's the shuffle. Really nice. Little peek in. It's a great slide. It's a really good slide. Now, we can tell from that technique, it was a little bit passive of a vault. He wasn't really getting out too much or even too quickly. You want to gain a little bit more ground there. but that's still really, really nice from him. Now, let's pause this, and let's go find PCAs. Those runs end up scoring because PCA hits a double. Very, very nice. So PCAs happens later in the game, I think. Yes, top seventh. Top seventh gets hit by a pitch that immediately steals second. That's so sick. Top 7. Here's bottom 6. That'd be great. Yeah, here we go. Here's PCA. 2-0 count. He probably gets hit on this pitch. Nope. I cannot wait for this dude's bat to get hot, man. It's a really cool player to watch. There he goes. Ouch. Like a champ. Okay. Lefty on the bump. Probably not going to see too much momentum from PCA. Now, he's a guy that kind of plays by his own rules because he's so fast he can kind of do what he needs to. He can get away with a whole lot, even if it's not his most efficient move. He can still get away with it most of the time. But I'm assuming they're probably going to try to calm his feet down here. Just find a good time to, like, guess. If I remember Perdomo correctly, he's a predetermined guy. He can't change his mind in the middle of his delivery, which it looks from his delivery like he cannot. So now it becomes a question of when do we flip the coin? Because it's going to be a 50-50 whether you're racing the ping pong play from first to the middle infielder as the runner, or if you're racing the delivery. If you can get him to throw home and you go first move, there's really no shot if you're PCA. So that's the question, is when's the right time to run? 0-2 is a really good time to run because you might be thinking breaker, but also it's a great time for the defense to show a pickoff move because they haven't shown any yet. There's that drop. Remember we talked about that drop move? That drop and then lean back. PCA it looked like he was going to go there, but he kind of dropped because he was thinking he was coming to first. As the opposition, that's when I would know, like, hey, we probably need to show a pickoff move here. I'm sure they saw something here. I'm going to assume there's going to be a pickoff in the next two deliveries. It should be here, but yeah, there it is. Good. Very, very nice. These guys do a really good job maintaining the aggression of the opposition. Now, truth be told, like, this guy's almost impossible to keep off second base. I mean, he's unreal good. But let's see what he does here. Oh, there's a little twitch. Oh, and he goes. Foul ball. Interesting. Okay, so now what do you do, right? So you kind of just, both groups showed their hands now. You know he's trying to run. He was faking twitching like he's trying to distract him to throw a ball, and then he still ran, which is a great time to do it. That's a really good move. I wonder if we show pick here. Step off. Ugh. That's a win for the Cubs there. Remember, in the bigs, you got two disengagements before you have to get an out on your third disengagement. So he's safe. There he goes. Just no shot. He's too fast. Yeah, I hope he slides off the base or something. I mean, that was really good until the second disengagement. That was really solid. All right. We're through checking out the Cubs. Really good game from a base stealing perspective. Pretty well managed from trying to figure out how much risk to take on. When you're playing with a lead like that, it is a little bit easier. So that helps. But let's think back to the Tucker vault, right? And so that was a little bit passive. And again, you've seen what a good vault looks like from previous videos on the channel. If you've been on my social media, you've seen that. But let's go back and see the other side of the coin where maybe we're over aggressive, or not even that. Maybe we're early, right? So it looked like Tucker was decently on time, but he didn't gain the footage that we'd want him to get. Now, again, I'm saying this, he stole the base, right? But let's go back and find an opportunity. I think there was one with the Marlins a couple of days ago, which they got a young guy named Mason Sherrill who's incredible with the new school stuff, and he's made a pretty big impact already with them. But not that they weren't attempting to do that already, but it's getting better. I believe this is it. I know it was Marlins Mets. It might be a day prior. So again, the not so glamorous part of base stealing is they usually don't have the highlights. They usually just have the caught stealing. I don't know if this is it or not. Let's see. Excuse me. Again, we don't have the angle, but we do have the 3D version. I think this is it. It's a sweet slide, by the way. Really good job by Acuna creating depth with his tag. Heck of a throw. So, yeah, I believe this is it. So runner was out. Really, really close play. Let's see if there's anything the runner could have done differently. I say that like I haven't already watched it, but we're going to change the angles here so we can get a better idea of who the guys are. I'm going to start this a little bit. Maybe it'll let us click onto the runner now. I guess not, but that's okay. We're going to go to 1/4 speed. Now, when you're doing this and you're trying to evaluate anything from technique, timing, footage, stuff like that, there's a couple things to look for. So when you're trying to evaluate in live settings, so the best way to do this blue collar wise is I just put a camera up with the angle of the pitcher. Like I put it essentially where that umpire's standing, maybe a little bit farther off the field. And so I can turn the camera. Every now and then you can double click the players, which helps, but it looks like this play is a little bit less operable. But if we go to fan control, we can still get there. So we'll go here, scroll down. It's a pretty good angle here. So we're gonna reset this. Here's what we're looking for from a technical perspective. First of all, he's a little wide here. He's like crawling out. It's not gonna be a great vault. Second of all, we're looking for a reach step with his right foot. Let's get this all the way back to the beginning. It looks like he's just planted on the ground now, and he's trying to time up Senga. So remember, the whole idea of the new school lead and the vault movement is to create momentum towards second, right? And so we want to do that prior to delivery, and we'll be landing with that left foot right as he starts to make his move. Now, when we register that, that's going to be different for everyone, but that's when we want that to happen. We don't want to have that right foot have landed. We'll still get more momentum out of it, but it closes us off, doesn't allow us to rotate and drive the same way. So the way our front foot impacts the ground is different if we land too early. So we got both feet on the ground here. There's the reach step, the vault, left, right. Not bad. It's not bad. But again, the problem is if we took this into this context and said, how was your timing here? A lot of people would say it's perfect. The left foot had landed, the right foot hasn't landed yet, and the pitcher goes. Pitcher's gone. His foot's off the ground. His right foot's just about to land. But here's the thing. If our runner can't register that, then you missed your window. The right foot doesn't open up here. Watch. Now it opens up. It has to land and then reset. And we'll watch it again just so you can feel it. But there's the reach step, the vault, right foot land, open up. You see? And so that's not really what we're looking for. We want to be able to land with that right foot to where our foot can turn and plant. That way we can drive out. The shape we make when we try to rotate over our hip versus when our hip opens up at planting changes dramatically. Or the angle that we can create is completely different. That's why when we're running, we have to reset that foot. We can't just turn on that foot. It's not like we're squashing a bug. We lift and then replace. And he does that here. But look at the shape that he has to make. So his hips are riding through. But now he's gotten this really uncomfortable, plant move there, where if he would have planted there initially, the shape that he's in here would have held, and this foot wouldn't have been as out in front. It would have been tucked more, like under his center mass, more drive, right? But again, it's not bad. Like that timing's not awful. And then if we want to, let's do this. I want you guys to be able to feel the amount of space these guys create with the slide. Look at this. Sorry about the slowness of all this, but it is really cool. I hope Acuna doesn't get in our way here. Uses the base as a backboard, works up the line. Look at the space he creates. Oh my gosh. We got to reevaluate where the ground is too visually. This is kind of trippy. Looked like he just swam in the air. But that was really, really cool. All right, y'all. That is all I got. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. Check out the Baseball Blueprint podcast. We also have Basestealing and infield communities on X that are really cool. We're trying to find different ways to find best practices and get better as a group. So feel free to participate in those as well. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.